Well, hey there, and welcome back. So, the fall time change happened yesterday, and today I want to quickly share some tips for those of you who already feel like things aren't going well. Hi, I'm Allison Edgety, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Okay, so hopefully you followed my plan that I laid out for you in episode 54. But even if you totally missed that episode, I don't want you to panic. I've got you. Here's what you need to know now. Your personal schedule and your child's schedule has shifted. As compared to last week, you're now leaving the house an hour earlier to head to work, take your children to daycare, school, etc. Your family is now eating meals at the typical time, which is also an hour earlier than you and your child were eating just a few days ago. This is noteworthy because our circadian rhythm is driven by natural light and the rhythm of our day, and it really doesn't vary more by than about 15 minutes on any given day. So part of the driver has shifted an hour, even though the natural daylight hasn't shifted nearly that much. But part of the shift is already happening. So even if the last couple of days have felt clunky and off in the sleep department because that clock rolled back suddenly, it's important that we quickly help our children get their sleep back to their typical schedule that aligns with all the rest of the rhythm in their life. The biggest SOS I'm hearing now is that many children woke up an hour earlier this morning. So now what do? I want you to forge ahead to your child's typical nap times. If last week they were napping at, say, 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 4 p.m., I want you to work your very hardest to keep your child solidly awake until you hit those nap start times. If they woke up crazy early this morning, I realize this may feel like a really big push. Your little one may be cranky and trying to snooze during feedings, but I want you to try to not let them even take a micro nap and stick to these nap start times. If you get to the end of the day and those naps weren't stellar, and you realize that your child who typically sleeps, say, 3.5 hours total in a day, only got 3 hours worth of naps today, well, then I want you to put them to bed 30 minutes earlier than their normal bedtime. Then, starting tomorrow, it'd be great if you could hold to their typical wake time. So if your child typically wakes at 6:30, but tomorrow they're still off and they wake up at, let's say, 5:45, try your best to hold to not getting them out of the crib or letting them leave their dark room until 6:30 a.m. But most importantly, even if they don't get back to sleep before their designated wake time, I want you to avoid catering to that early waking by shifting the first nap earlier, because that's what we're doing. If we shift the naps or go by wake windows to shift those naps earlier to accommodate them for waking up, we're catering to that early waking and we're kind of encouraging them to stay set there. If you stick to holding your child's typical wake time and their typical nap start times, even if it feels like a hard push, which I know it can, and then if needed, you go with an earlier bedtime to allow them to not miss out on even more sleep, your child should start to wake at their typical time again as this weekend approaches. So, the other question I've been asked by several people is what to do about daycare sleep and the fact that some people aren't able to do those extra early bedtimes during the week because of the time they get home in the evening. First of all, I see you. Up until my oldest went to kindergarten, I didn't get home from daycare until 6 p.m. with them during the week. So I've been there, and I want to assure you that we can still get them through this bumpy period. So it would be fantastic if you can encourage your daycare provider to also hold to the normal nap start times at daycare. If your child isn't napping well with this shift, just focus on getting them in bed as early as you can, even if it's just 10 minutes earlier than usual. If the shorter naps at daycare end up resulting in your little one falling asleep in the car on the way home in the evening, resist the urge to let them continue napping if that's not what they would typically be doing. Wake them up right away and forge ahead to getting them in bed as fast as reasonably possible. Then this weekend, I really want you to prioritize the typical nap schedule and the early bedtime as needed so that your child can hopefully be reset come next Monday morning. So, those are the most common two questions and concerns that I hear from families a few days after the fall time change, sometimes even weeks after the fall time change. So, if you already feel like your child's sleep has slipped, I hope this helps you guide them back to their typical schedule and away from those extra early wakings. And remember, when in doubt, an early rescue bedtime is your friend. All right, I'll see you back here next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.